right, so got a special bonus episode. One of the kids is sick. One of the kids was told not to go back to school till Friday, which is tomorrow. So I took the day off to spend the day with the one child, the oldest, but the youngest woke up not feeling good. So staying home with the kids. One of them's asleep right now, and the one that's fine is just playing. So I figured I'd make a quick little video. Was listening to Certified Wrench, his podcast. It must have been 2 or 3 episodes ago. I don't remember. They're talking about stolen machines. And I got a really crazy story about stolen machines. Or a stolen machine. So I wanted to do a quick video just to tell the story. So I'm not really calling this Thursday Thoughts because it's not. It's just a bonus episode. All right. So first of all, I wanted to give a quick little shout out to Channel Lock. So if you guys saw the short, they sent me some stuff. I did some more stuff about it, but they sent me some stuff, so I wanted to say thank you to Channel Lock for that. You'll be seeing a lot more of the Channel Lock stuff. So now to the story. So I was working at the second cat dealer I worked at in Hawaii, and this guy bought a skid steer. It wasn't very old. I think it was a D model skid steer. I don't know what size it was, but it was like a D model skid steer. He brought it in, and he's like, hey, man, I got this thing really cheap. I was a service advisor there, by the way. So if you guys don't know, I worked at the cat dealer in Hawaii, and I was a service advisor. I was not a mechanic. But so he brought in this skid steer, and he's like, hey, man, I got this skid steer really cheap. Can you guys check it out? You know, do a service on it. There's no service information or nothing about it. So can you guys do like a service on it and just make sure there's nothing that needs to be done with it? So I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So he prepaid for it, or I gave him a quote, or I don't remember how it was, but it wasn't very much money. It was like probably $500-600 is what it was going to cost. So we, opened the work order, and I assign it, order the parts, whatever. But it was standard procedure at that cat dealer, and I'm pretty sure it's any cat dealer, to run the serial number. So Cat has this thing called SIMS-I. It's like warranty information, and like if a PS letter, so Cat calls, Deere calls it a PIP, product improvement procedure. Cat calls it a PS letter. I know some places call it campaigns. So it's not really a recall, but it's like something that they want to fix. So they call the PS letters are in there, warranty information, who the original purchaser of the machine was, and like that kind of information. So I didn't run it through right away, so they had already actually done all the service and stuff, and the machine was done. And then I was like, oh, I forgot to check for a PS letter. So I ran the serial number through the SIMS-I, and it says in the top big, it was right across the top in big red letters. And I don't remember exactly what it says, but it's basically to the tune of contact Caterpillar. This machine is it didn't say this machine is stolen, but it says contact Caterpillar, something about this machine. I don't know. So it was weird. So I was like, well, that's kind of weird. So I told my service manager at the time, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but I don't remember if I called the customer or if he called the customer. I mean, this was probably 2 or 3 years ago, so I don't exactly remember. But we contacted the customer, hey, it's done. Everything's done, no problem. Machine's fixed. There wasn't anything really wrong with it. There was no PS letters. We got the service done. But, hey, this machine is stolen. So he was he wasn't really that surprised or upset. I don't think so. Fast forward to the end of the story. They weren't the ones that had actually done anything, but we'll get back to that. So he wasn't super surprised or anything about it. But he's like, oh, okay, let me figure out what to do. So we're like, hey, this machine is stolen. You got to contact whoever. You got to contact the person that you bought it from and have them contact Cat or whatever. So he was like, okay, I'll take care of that. But then an hour later, his wife called, and she was pissed. She's screaming at me and yelling at me. And at this point, I think I got our service manager, and so he was on the call, and she's saying all this stuff, and she's like, I'm going to bring my gun down there, and I'm going to take that machine, and nothing you could do about it, and all this stuff. So we're kind of freaked out a little bit. I'm I wasn't expecting that. So the call ended or whatever. So then I called the police, the non-emergency line, was like, hey, this is what's going on. So they sent an officer out. The officer, I talked to him, and he opened like a thing, what they call it, police report or whatever. He like, we're like, hey, this is what happened. Like, we're not sure what's gonna happen. We don't want anything bad to happen or whatever. So he like came out and, you know, they did all this stuff and wrote it all down, all that, whatever they do. They gave us a case number and all that. And it was just like really weird, but like, we're like, this is crazy. So then we're not, what the heck do we do? So we kind of put the machine in the shop and we're like, we're not sure what's going to happen or whatever. And then I don't exactly remember like the details, but he ended up, the person that purchased it, like our customer ended up, I guess what had happened is that technically the machine wasn't it wasn't really stolen. I guess that it was like they had financed it. The original person had financed it, and like they didn't finish paying the financing off or something like that. So I guess it was technically stolen. They hadn't finished paying the financing or whatever, and they sold it to this guy. So this guy had no idea. So then they were like, well, I guess he got in contact, and then they got it solved. But they got it solved, and then he came and picked it up, and like he was like apologizing for his wife and stuff. He's like, hey, that's kind of out of line. Like she shouldn't have said that stuff. So like it resolved out pretty well. It wasn't like terrible, but it was just really weird. Like that I'd never experienced that. Like somebody like threatened, like it was basically they threatened us and stuff, but they got it solved. And I think we ended up giving the guy like a discount on the labor. Like it wasn't even, like I said before, I can't remember how much it was, but it was less than $1,000. Like it was a service. And I think he wanted like a service, and like he just wanted us to check it out and stuff. So like we ended up discounting that, I think, quite a bit just because of like the hassle and stuff. But that wasn't the first time that I've run across that either. Like there was a few other times like you'd run it through SimsEye, and I don't know if it was just Cat was like slow to update it or what, but like there'd be a few times where like it would say, hey, this is going on or whatever, and then it would get resolved. But it might not always get updated very quickly, but it was just really weird. So I just kind of wanted to share that. It was my kind of really weird story. There's actually another short one this one was even longer before that. So this was the first Cat dealer. It wasn't really a stolen machine, but it was a skid steer again too, and I don't remember what kind of skid steer it was, but they wanted us to do like a service and stuff on it. So I was a mechanic at this point, and I was the one, I worked on this machine. I did the service. I'm like, okay, cool, it's good to go. And then we parked it on the done line. I guess they called the customer, and he's like, it was a cash customer, and he's like, okay, I'll send, I'll pay for it, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Well, apparently he told his guy, go pick it up and don't talk to anybody. So the guy picked it up, and he came around to the shop and was like, hey, I'm picking this machine up. Are we good to go and all that stuff? And they were like, the bill hasn't been paid. Did he give you like a check or credit card? And he's like, the guy picking it up's like, no, I got nothing. They told me to pick it up and not tell anybody. So he was trying to take the machine without paying. So we took it, we put it back in the shop and locked it down and stuff. And I guess the guy paid for it a few days later, but it was just like really weird. They just tried to like take their machine like without even paying the bill. But so those are just my kind of stories. So if you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Just kind of a short little going video. Just want to say thanks again to Channel Lock. Check out their stuff. I'll link their Amazon store. Pretty much everything they have is made in the USA. There's also a PayPal if anybody would like to donate to the channel. That'd be much appreciated. Thank you.